To the top right, in the red, formerly of Prime, currently of JINAIR Green Wings, it's Maru. And to the bottom left, in a few moments, he says, "Sorry, I hate to say, oh Hyung," and that means like, "Please be gentle with me, older brother."
That's why I just randomly laughed there, by the way, guys.
And back to the bottom left from the clan Lotim, apparently, from SK Telecom T1, formerly of Startail, it's Parting. So this is going to be a really interesting match because these two players are so high level, and both of them have so many top finishes last year, especially Maru's breakout performance at OSL comes to mind. And the year before, in 2012, that was kind of the year of Parting at the end, Parting in life, kind of battling it out as teammates as he was the best player in the world. And this match is just, even though it's a preseason, it's fun. It's so high level.
Yeah, I mean, these matches technically are for fun, but it is with all of these huge players, all these huge names that we have on all these different teams, a bunch of SPL teams as well as the SF teams. That the three that were coming over here, we mentioned them yesterday.
Yeah, I'm distracted by the chat, just talking about 11-11s possibly, and I'm gonna try to ignore the chat, but they're just making jokes about the build orders. And since this is a preseason, you know, the Kesper's referees, of course, allow them to chat, which would never happen in a real, actual Pro League match. So, Parting is going to come in here and scout the gas. And what he can reasonably expect to see, as you know, is that we're going to see a 1 barracks reactor expand probably, or a Reaper into that reactor expand, just to get the command center up safely and see if there's any all-ins coming.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe build. You know, it's not going command center first or anything like that. It is getting that gas, getting those units, especially the Reapers, able to get across the map really quickly, able to scout your opponent's base and get away from any threats. Especially even when the Stalker comes out, he's probably going to be able to get away with that, from that, and get a bunch of scouting information early on the game and play just pretty safe to start the game.
Yeah, and the most important thing for the Reaper to see, especially on a 2-player map like this, is where is the third pylon in the main base. If the third pylon is not shown, it means there's very likely going to be a proxy. Even if he sees the Nexus, if he can't find that third pylon, it could be a delayed Oracle proxy. It could be Dark Shrine tech being hidden somewhere. And if he sees all 3 pylons in the main base, it also lets him know, sometimes depending on the pylon placement, where he would like to scan later on in the game to see where the tech is.
Yeah, these are all types of things that the pro players see, and they get so much information from just going in there and seeing these little tiny and minute details maybe to a lower level player, but for them, they notice everything because they've done this so many times.
And we saw just a little scout in there by Parting as well. Does see there's a second barracks going down, no tech, no quick tech to factory or anything like that. And oh, the probe actually will be killed on its way home. Sad little probe.
He was just trying to make it home. He went on a pretty much a suicide mission there, just trying to go in there and get some scouting information, but good job by the Reaper to take that out.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate to be the one who draws the short straw and has to go and scout.
I wonder how they select that probe, actually, you know.
I'll tell you how it works. Parting just looks at his mirror line and picks one of the ones on the right side. He's like, this one's good. They have no say. There's no luck. There's no safe chance. It's just bad luck by Parting's pick. And oh, speaking of bad luck, the Reaper avoids that bad luck and is able to jump out at the last second. I should say good luck as he gets away.
Well, I guess avoiding bad luck is the same thing as good luck, or at least technically similar.
It's the same end result. We go to the same place.
Yeah.
There's the eBay going down for Maru, as he will be getting a quick +1, but more importantly, wants to be able to have a turret ready for whatever tech comes his way, whether the Oracle's coming later, which in this case is already scouted, is not happening, or if DT's come in there. And the +1 is still really something he wants to get out as soon as possible. And he will actually, if he starts right away, which he does, as you can see on the production tab, have a lead on Parting with the Forge here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you got a look at that Forge. It was building all the way on the left side of Parting's base, but, you know, just getting that eBay up as quickly as possible, going to get very upgraded units. He is getting that concussive shell as well. Probably maybe going to go for a little aggression here, maybe just a little poke at his opponent's base.
Yeah, 8 Marines and 1 Marauder. That 1 Marauder actually adds so much power to the push because it does so much damage to armored units, that extra bonus damage. We see the factory tech comes out as he pushes out here. So this is that early push that you see Terran players do oftentimes to get that mothership core to use some of its energy and then back out. And if the Terran is lucky, maybe kill a probe or 2, maybe get a sentry. Anything he can get like that would be excellent for him. The Mothership Core is ready, and he does use that overcharge instantly. Not really losing anything. The Reaper, on the other hand, scouts the entire main base, including the Twilight Council. And does he get the probe? He very well could. Parting's not paying attention.
Parting's not paying attention, and this Reaper is actually in here. He might actually corner it against those buildings. Does get one probe, so that Reaper basically paying for itself in all the scouting information and the probe it just got there.
Yeah, I noticed one Marauder didn't come home, by the way. I'm really sad about that.
I guess he also got the sword draw, at least for Maru.
The Twilight Council being completed here, of course, not really telling of anything for Maru except that he doesn't have to deal with Colossi for a while. But otherwise, he's like, okay, this is pretty much how most Pros players are playing in Korea right now, skipping the Colossi on a two-player map like this, going into the faster double upgrades in the Temple Archives, as you can see on the production tab.
Yeah, I liked what Maru was doing there. He's like getting a hold of this game himself. He went with the aggression, and he got the Reaper in there. He distracted with the push and got the Reaper in at the same time, getting all the scouting information, getting some of the energy off the Mothership Core, as well as teching up in his own base and just getting those SCVs producing as well. So, you know, it's looking pretty good for Maru so far.
Yeah, like you said, it was not coincidence that the Reaper came in at the same time that he was attacking at the front. He had this idea planned from the beginning. So he's like, all right, I waste your Mothership Core energy at the same time, and I get this kind of information whether you're going Colossi or not. And there was one Stalker for Parting position 2 tried to deny this, but one Stalker's not enough. The Reaper's still going to get past.
Yeah, and he actually messed up on that. He brought the Stalker away to the front back, and the Reaper was there for a little bit too long. Longer than he should have been there, at least.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of Zealot drop here. And it looks like the point of this Zealot drop is to draw the attention away from Parting while he gets Storm Tech up and is going to go for potentially a big attack here. He's adding even more gateways. He's going to have Charge, Storm, and enough energy on his Templar to attack very soon. On the other hand, Maru's the one who moves out first.
Yeah, Maru's moving out here, and if he goes straight to his opponent's base, he might just hit right before Storm gets there and before Charge upgrades, but he's going to have to go right away.
This is actually really scary. This push is so strong, and he checks the army side. He's like, well, this looks pretty small. There must be some units in the main base, so I don't want to drop. I'm just going to attack directly. There's a scan. There goes the overcharge.
And he's actually going in here. A bunch of these Templar are here, but Storm is not yet finished, as well as Charge. Some Zealots dropped in the main base at the same time, but with that Photon overcharge, he's able to defend it pretty easily there. Yeah,
one Zealot does escape into the Warp Prism. Double drop in the main, though, is not spotted. Parting has no idea. And all these units are at a concave at the top of his ramp. They could actually use that against Parting, but they're going to go ahead and go in here and try to unpower some of these gateways. One pylon down, 2 down.
And I'm not sure if Parting has the army to deal with this. He does have Charge and Storm now, so he is coming over here to deny this drop. But 2 pylons going down. Maru doing a decent job doing some damage in the main base.
Yeah, just getting 2 pylons, drawing the army back, defended the drop pretty well. And if you look at the supplies, Maru takes a significant lead here because he hasn't spent as much money on his tech. He's been more so spending money on his units. He's being the aggressor here. And Parting has really good tech. He has Storm. But if he doesn't have enough army units, it's not going to matter. Just a little poke here.
Yeah, a little poke there. The Photon Overcharge is still up there. Some Zealots knocking down those rocks. Probably going to prepare to take a third sometime soon here.
Yeah, definitely true. The upgrades are also coming along pretty nicely for Parting right now. He's got +2 armor nearly completed. And his drop defense here has been solid, but he just is always a second too late to prevent total damage. Nice feedback!
Feedback, actually getting that. That's the Marauders and the Marine tried to stim and maybe pick off one of the High Templar, but not able to. Very nice feedback there. The Stalker's doing enough damage to get it low enough for the feedback to kill the medevac.
That feedback was so good it killed my voice at the same time. And here comes another attack here, but he walks right into the Storm. A second Storm is excellent.
And with all of those Charged Zealots, he's going to come in here and probably clean up the rest of this army unless he can get away with the medevacs.
Yeah, no more feedbacks available there to try to knock those down. The factory is always there to be able to spot how many units are in the main base, where's the weak point, where is a place where Maru can just sneak in with a boost with his medevacs. Multiple barracks being added here for Maru as he does take that 3rd base south of his main, which gives him a better attack position. You know, when you have the 3rd base closer to your opponent, you can defend and attack much easier than if you have to go further away to defend your base while you're attacking.
Yeah, definitely. Like, say he expanded over there to the northwest, that would not be good because his base would be very spread out and he wouldn't be as close to his opponent's base.
Yeah. And this attack here, I don't think it's going to work down a ramp with the Archons and the Storms. He's actually got a few units caught here. Could get some feedbacks on the medevacs, decides not to, just wants to go for the Storms.
And Parting just has enough units. One storm very nicely done there on those units stuck in the corner. And just dropping over here. And you can see at if you look at the supplies right now, they're pretty much evened up right now. But a nice drop in the base with the Zealots warping in a bunch more.
Yep, Zealots warping in a bunch more. SCVs going down here. Unfortunately, not a ton of damage done. One add-on is actually canceled to switch. Looks like he's going to switch to more Tech Labs once to increase his Marauder production. And that's a smart choice when the storm count gets higher and higher and you have more and more High Templar. When you have enough Marauders out on the map to just kind of tank the storms, it can be good when you don't lose a lot of medevacs. So Maru has been able to keep his medevacs mostly alive here. And he's going for a huge Doom Drop in the main.
But Parting bringing his army up here. A good storm going on, warping in a bunch more units. The Photon overcharge as well. He's going to try to get out of here. Does some damage, but not really enough for the amount of units that he lost.
Yeah, he lost a lot of units there. I don't think that was really worth it, but it's just pressure plays because he has had his third base up a little bit longer. He is switching into Ghost production where he can deal with the High Templar, and he also gets a little bit of scouting information. Every time he pokes this far forward, he sees, you still don't have Colossi yet. You still haven't made that transition. So the Ghost commitment that I'm making right now makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, he was adding those Tech Labs for the extra Marauders and probably the Ghosts as well.
Yeah, it's a good point that you mentioned that, the Tech Lab's not just for Marauders. The Forge was a great target for Maru to go for. It looked like that was something he definitely was trying to grab onto. Wasn't successful in the end. +2 attack now on the way for Parting.
Yeah, and starting a second Forge as well to go for the double up +3.
Yeah, 2 Forges are better than 1, as they say. Generally speaking, 2 things are always better than 1, except problems. That's not something that's... Look at how many medevacs he has. Maru playing this like Flash style, he just does not stop medevac production ever. And that can actually make his army a lot weaker, as funny as it sounds.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the ground army. He just has a bunch of those medevacs to heal the army. But if you have a bunch of storm and AoE damage, the units are just going to die before the medevacs can heal enough. So we're going to have to see how he does this. He's going to have to get good EMPs. Some EMPs going down there. A bunch of Zealots taking damage.
Storm on the right side really good, but no storms on the core of the army. A beautiful EMP on that temple on the high ground. This storm is brilliant, though. It hits every single one of those Marauders. Does he have enough army supply to actually break through? He's dealing with the drop in his main base at the same time. The Nexus, so low here.
Able to take out the Nexus, loading up all of his units, trying to get away from that. He does feedback some of the medevacs and get out of there. So a very nice trade from Maru there. The storms did land really nicely onto a bunch of his army, but the bulk of them were Marauders, and they just did not go down at the same time. So he was able to focus down the Nexus and get out of there.
You're gonna have to bear with me, Brendan, on my voice dying. I feel like right now I'm that like really squeaky door in the house that just needs more time to be replaced. You're just gonna have to keep listening to my voice.
Or that guy in the PC bong yesterday with the squeaky phone.
Oh yeah,
he had the most annoying ringtone thing in the world, and it would never stop. And we were there for so long. It was terrible.
It was terrible. What's also terrible is when all of your Zealots get EMP'd by one single shot. You've got no shields on those Zealots, and the Marauders are on the chase here. And he can basically stim all day long because there's so many medevacs to support. The Templar on the right side are spotted, and 3 Marauders for 2 Templar. That's a ripoff.
Yeah, he used 2 of those storms on 3 Marauders and a bunch of good EMPs already having gone down. He has a lot of those medevacs, and the army is just not big enough for Parting to take out this army, I think.
Yeah, it's not quite big enough, especially with the next wave of reinforcements. He has so many Archons, but with a good kiting here by Maru, Maru's army is just too strong. He's really starting to wear Parting down right now, and with all the lost income at the third base, the Nexus has been down for so long. That's why he has these surges of units. He's continuing his upgrades as well, and the medevac count is so high. His army is almost pure Marauder, and it's just being healed so much. The Marauders are so tanky here.
Yeah, Maru very well spread out here. The chargelet's going onto the army, but I don't think they're going to be able to take it out. Maru just standing here, not even bothering to kite at this point. A bunch of those medevacs, though, are pretty low on energy. Yeah, they're so low on energy. I guess he gets to avoid feedbacks with that, but at this point it doesn't matter. He used all his energy, but Parting used all of his army. GG. And JINAIR Green Wings takes game 1 with Maru convincing lead early on and just runs with it. Has the better economy. When he killed that third Nexus, that was the big turning point in the game.